This is Jonathan Nagyoff here for Pro Boxing Fans. We're here at the MGM Grand with unbeaten cruiserweight Viddal Riley, YouTuber, trainer, man of all trades. Good to finally meet you, Viddal. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you too, man. I'm excited for, especially for fight week. Fight week is a special feeling because it kind of gives me an insight into what I want or where I want to be in the next few years. So I guess fans are there like, man, this is a great atmosphere. I'm sitting there like, yeah, this is a great atmosphere. I need this in the next few years. So always motivates me a little bit more just to know this is what I'm aiming towards and this is what I look to achieve.
I mean, you fought at the MGM Grand before.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? It's such an iconic venue on the undercard of Pacquiao-Broner. I mean, that's what dreams are made of.
It's crazy because, stepping on the scales and just being a part of the whole experience was amazing. Obviously, there was only 6 people in the crowd, but in my mind there was 20,000. And just knowing that legendary fighters have walked that same path, and fighters that are great didn't get that opportunity in their second fight. So, you really have to put it into context, be grateful, be thankful. But no, great experience, man, definitely.
I mean, a lot of people saying the winner of this fight is the #1 heavyweight, but Joshua has 3 belts. What's your take on it all?
Well, belts they do mean something, but if we're talking about the best heavyweight in the world, the lineal heavyweight champion is Tyson Fury. The longest reigning champion is Deontay Wilder. So I feel like whoever wins this fight is the best heavyweight in the world. AJ has kind of gone under the radar after the whole Ruiz incident because he shouldn't have lost in the first place, a lot of people feel, and his performance to win back the belts was not astonishing. He done what he needed to do, but it's not a performance you want to see from a heavyweight, generally speaking. When Floyd boxes how AJ did, it's a masterclass. When a heavyweight boxes like that, he ran. The heavier you get, the more exciting you need to be and the more definitive you need to win. So AJ has gone a bit under the radar, and I would say the best heavyweight in the world will be determined tonight.
Can't wait to see what happens. Now let's move back onto you. You've got a fight next Friday night. Talk me through it. I mean, it's been a while since you've been in the ring. Obviously, a few things have been happening outside of that. But yeah, let's first talk about that. You must be buzzing to get back in there.
Buzzing to get back in the ring. Haven't been in the ring since May last year. I feel I'm a much better fighter than I was May last year. I've been learning so much more. Working with Jeff Mayweather, working with my dad, just really settling into a pro style now, and just holding my feet a little bit more and working on my hand defenses. The main thing Jeff has taught me is my hand defenses. You can't really teach reflexes and stuff like that, but you can, being a part of the family and being part of someone who's probably had the greatest hand defense in history, starting to rub off on me, and I can feel it. My opponent's 4-1-1. So not a bad opponent for my 4th fight. He's had a ton of MMA fights as well, so he's used to being in combat. But I have no doubt in my mind that I either outbox him or knock him out. It's just all about patience, timing, and I'll get the result.
I mean, how difficult was it, sort of training throughout that period when you were sort of with KSI and Anise and Gibb? Was it difficult? I'm sure you managed to train, but was it kind of like a distraction in a way?
The motivation for training changes. So when I'm training those guys, the motivation is to keep my weight at a decent number. Like I fight at 201, 90.7 kg. I don't like to go over 95 kg. So the moment I see the scale get to 95, I feel like I'll have more longevity in my career if I stay closer to my fight weight. So the training when I'm with them is kind of weight maintenance. As I have an opponent and my own fight, we start knuckling down on the skill side and start fixing the areas that need help. And being a coach improves my game because it reminded me a lot of the fundamentals of the sport that I learned a long time ago. I had to remind myself to give it to them. So coaching, I feel like my style and my boxing has improved 10 times since coaching the guys.
I mean, just on sort of, you're at the Mayweather gym with Jeff. How did that sort of begin? And you obviously mentioned, he's been working on your hand defences and things.
Yeah.
But I imagine just being in the Mayweather gym, being with him with all that experience can only help. But how did it all sort of start?
I came out to Vegas with KSI in February 2018, so we're talking exactly 2 years ago now. It's flown by, but yeah, it's been 2 years. I sparred with Andrew Tabiti, who's a top cruiserweight, just fought in the Super Series, World Boxing Series, and me and him had a good sparring session. It was only 3 rounds, but I guess Jeff was in my corner for the sparring session, and he could see my potential. I told him I'm an amateur from the UK. He said, well, you're pushing a cruiserweight that's top 10 in the world. Let me work with you, we can get you somewhere. And that's kind of how everything just kind of, had a knock-on effect, a domino effect from there. And it's a fact, I've improved so much since working with him. I'm a true believer in not relying on your trainer. I'm my best trainer. I have the best advisors, but I'm my best trainer because I know my weaknesses, my strengths, and I study the sport in order to improve them. And then I just go to the advisors in order to confirm what I believe for myself, and then we work on it. And that's what's going to make me a world champion. No trainer can make you a world champion. No trainer in the world can make you a world champion. Only you can make yourself one, but they can assist you on the way.
Picking this back up with Viddal Riley, how would you sort of reflect on 2019? I mean, we saw, you had your fight in Dubai. You had, KSI against Logan and then Ethan Gibb. I mean, that was the early part of 2020 now. Yeah. I mean, how do you reflect on it? Obviously, your profile's gone up massively. It's probably helped you with your career as well. What were your thoughts on it?
It was a great year. We started off the year actually in the MGM, which was the undercard Pacquiao-Broner. Then we had the fight in Dubai where I was headlining, pay-per-view event, unheard of, to have a pay-per-view fight and be a main event. Crazy, another part of the world. All of my fights have been in different countries. So I'm traveling, I'm winning, and then, we fast forward to when JJ says, I want to fight Logan, so I start preparing him for that. Great win, groundbreaking event, numbers smashed out the waters. Always great to be on the winning team. And then we go to the latter part of the year, which was a bit of a downer where I got injured. I was supposed to fight on the Tank undercard in Atlanta when he fought Gamboa, but got injured. But it was all a learning experience. Turns out that injury allowed me to help Gibb for longer, for him to have his fight. Didn't get the result, but the ultimate result is that a YouTuber that played FIFA got paid more than a ton of professional fighters, was on Sky Sports, on the Zone, and now can put something down in his life that he would have never told you he could do when he was 16. So he lost on the night, and obviously that's painful, but he's won ultimately. And hit 1 million subscribers recently as well, which is, thank you very much, which is crazy when you think about it. 1 million, the number, when you see it, you start to belittle how many people that actually is, and I'm so thankful to be in the position that I'm in, and I know that will come in handy for my career later down the line, and even now.
I mean, I have spoken to a few sort of boxers about, YouTube boxing. They obviously, they respect the fact that, Gibb and KSI have got in the ring and, 10-ounce gloves, no head guards. But what would you say to those that sort of criticise it and say, these guys shouldn't be on these cards and things like that?
I would say be a part of it. If you can't win as the enemy, then change your game plan or join them. Why would you not be happy? Because you're not a part of it, because you're not making the money, because you haven't used your brain how they've used theirs. There's no actual reason to not like what's happening besides jealousy. When I think about it, I've sat down and I thought about it myself, and I thought, okay, I'm a legitimate fighter. Fortunately, I'm a big part of the movement. But if I wasn't, would I hate these guys? No. That's too much of this generation's problem anyway. They're too concerned on what others are doing instead of what they should be doing. If they spent half the energy on themselves, marketing themselves, as opposed to tweeting and bad-mouthing those guys, they'd be a bit further ahead.
I mean, the burning question which everyone has is this KSI Jake Paul fight going to happen? What can you tell us? Do you want to be a part of that? Because I know you said, you're sort of done with this training, but would you sort of What I mean, let's first of all, yeah.
I'll definitely be a part of it if it happens, but I won't be the head coach. But I'll be a part of it. There's no way I'm going to let KSI ever go into a fight without my assistance in any way, because he's so used to having me around and he's so used to our level of communication that it will be very difficult to bring someone else in that's going to get through to him as well as I can. I'm not saying I'm the best trainer in the world, and if a world champion dropped into camp to give him some tips, take them on board. But communication is key, and no one can get through to him how I can. So I'll have involvement, but I don't want to be the main role like I've been for the past 2 fights.
I mean, why is that? You just want to sort of more focus on your career?
Yeah, I need to focus on making sure my talent and my hard work that I put into the sport for 16 years isn't overlooked by me being a coach, because that's what's starting to happen, and I love it. I tell you, I love it. Like, I genuinely love coaching. I love the people that are supporting me through coaching, but I need people to understand that 16 years of being in a sport, I'm not a coach. I'm a professional fighter, a decorated amateur, and I coach on the side. When that balance becomes more clear, I can consider coaching again. Until that is more clear, we'll have to wait.
I mean, last one on this, do you think this KSI Jake Paul fight will happen this year?
No, 100% no. Definitely not this year. This guy's got booked for too many tours already, too many festivals. There is no time for training. And I told him, we don't take anyone lightly. Don't come off a tour and think you're just going to get into camp and fight Jake. You lock off your music, you lock off everything, and then you talk.
Would it be a harder fight than Logan, do you think?
It'll be a harder fight because Jake is a different fighter. He's a different type of fighter, and he's got more footage to watch. People giving Jake a lot of credit for his performance, but we didn't see anything. 1 minute of the fight, Gibb avoided all his punches. 2nd minute, he got caught. Bear in mind, Jake Paul walks around at 210, 215 pounds, dieted down to 190, whatever. Gibb walks around at 184 and had to eat up to 188 to make weight. On that night, there was at least 15 pounds between them. So when he got hit, of course, he got hit by a man that's a different weight category to him. So we can't give Jake ultra credit for what happened. He did land the shot and he did stop him. But we can't say, oh, Jake's a great boxer and he's way better than Logan, he's way better, because we didn't see enough.
I mean, in hindsight though, what would you have changed from that if, the size obviously played a massive part?
Well, I said to Gibb, he's too big for you. But what I would have done is been more assertive with that and said, don't fight him unless the weight can be moved down more. Because we spent the whole camp with this guy eating 6 meals a day just to make weight. That's unheard of in boxing. People cut meals to make weight. He was eating up. Before the weigh-in, he had to eat breakfast, like two meals, and when he stepped on the scales, he still just made the weight limit.
Wow.
And a lot of people won't take this into consideration. They'll just take the piss out of him and say, oh, he got hit and he fell over and he's a crab and whatnot. But listen, that guy, he worked hard and he struggled in a reverse way to most fighters to make that fight happen.
Just moving away from all of this, I do want to get your thoughts. World Boxing Super Series final coming up, Bradis and Dorticus. How do you see that fight going, Viddal?
Bradis wins. Dorticus is a great fighter. Very powerhouse, quite rough. But Bradis is more of a decorated boxer. He got more in his game. I feel like he can adapt more. Boxing is about adapting. What makes anyone a better fighter than another is that you go into the ring with one game plan, but then you can use another, or you can use another. Dorticus can only fight one way. Effective, but one way. I've seen Bradis fight Usyk and push him to a very close fight. Then I've seen him fight other guys where he's adjusted his style again. Bradis for me is the best cruiserweight out there right now. Considering Usyk and Gassiev have moved up, Maris Bradis is the best cruiserweight.
Couple more. Who is your top 3 pound for pound in the world?
Ever or right now?
Right now.
Canelo, I do love the way Canelo fights. He's learned so much, as you can see. He's learned a lot. You know, he's constantly learning. So Canelo's in there. Got to put Lomachenko in there. And I would have put Usyk in there last year, but he's been a bit out right now. He's been a bit out, so I might have to put. Well, Manny Pacquiao's still active.
Okay.
So Manny Pacquiao, can't dismiss him. Yeah, he's past his best, but as long as Manny Pacquiao is active, if he's one of the best boxers ever, then he has to be one of the best pound for pound. People put Spence and Crawford, but Manny Pacquiao is an active world champion. So Manny Pacquiao. So we go with Pacquiao, Canelo, and Lomachenko.
And what is your sort of motivation? You've obviously, trained, unbeaten as a cruiserweight. You've got your YouTube channel, hit 1 million subs. What would you say is your motivation?
My motivation, it changes. It changes, but I'd say my main motivation is to prove that I'm as good as people say I am. And I'm better than some people think I am. You know, half the world think I'm overrated and I only get publicity because of coaching. People that actually know the sport know how good I can be and where I can be. And it just keeps me going to prove both sides wrong. Or one side right.
Final one, Viddal. What would be your perfect 2020? You're obviously, quite a lot younger than a lot of sort of the domestic cruiserweights. What would be your perfect 2020? Would you like to come maybe back to the UK and fight?
Not yet. The reason why I don't want to come back to the UK and fight is because by the end of 2020, I won't be in a position in my career where it will be big enough. The fight will be big enough to be in the UK. When I come back to the UK, I want the city to stop. I want London to stop. I want it to be a reason to stop. I'm not ahead of myself to be like, oh, I'm fighting this guy that's 8-5. Come and let me sell out Copper Box. No, I want it to be something. I want it to be somewhere where people are like, okay, this is his first stiff test, and I want to beat him in front of my home crowd. So I don't think we'll come back to the UK 2020. But I want to finish the year 7-0, 8-0, and some more knockouts for sure.
Viddal Riley, thanks very much for your time. Been a pleasure, and I'll look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Cheers.